What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. We are here with another seasonal championship, this time in Series 6, and it's the handcrafted championship. You need to use an alumni craft car, and there is only one. It's this buggy in the background that you see, or what you see in the picture. Like, there is only this one car, and you need to use it in the B class. That's the standard class the car is in. And you are free to upgrade it up to the 700 rating. I will, as always, post the tuning share code in the description for what I am using. It is a cross-country championship, so obviously we have an off-road heavy tune. I do not enjoy cross-country racing, so don't be too surprised if I won't sound too happy about all of this championship, but we'll be alright. Unfortunately, due to once again catching a cold and some voice issues, I have actually skipped out on last week's championship. But this week we are back. So here we go at the start. Obviously everyone driving the same car, the car requirement obviously being this brand, and well, again, there is only that one car, so B class is relatively slow, so the car should be controllable. That was a pretty good overtake, I must say. So getting through that corner quickly, very important, because the AI doesn't do it, and then you can overtake a lot of them on the jump because you approach it a lot faster. Then we got through this corner a lot quicker. And now we try to position ourselves on the inside line here so that we can take the lead. We have a short break into a very tight turn there, and we mostly go full throttle through this section. So far so good. Now we have a jump. Now why do I not like cross country very much? Well, it's mostly because of the jumps. They make the races very unpredictable, and a lot of weird things can happen which can derail your race. And if you need to do 3 races in a row, you can stomach an accident happening, because if you win 2, it's not like you need to win all 3. But at the same time, when you are recording, you obviously want to show proper races and not ones where you barely manage to hang on. So, but there's a big chance, or a very realistic chance, that one of those jumps or something standing in the way, especially with these flimsy cars, ends up ruining your video for the week, which is why I am not a big fan of recording cross country. And that is also why sometimes I try to drive it a little bit more safely instead of the fastest way possible, so to speak. So, but as you could see, you have these couple of corners at the start where you can pretty much go by because the AI is just busy braking weirdly, and you really shouldn't have any issues on this track. And we will go to the next in a moment. After scoring a goal, or the game says so. I mean, I didn't do anything. And where's the next race? I think over there, yes. So that's another sprint. As we magically clean our tires as well. tune that I have given you is very stable. Obviously it's a B-class tune, so most B-class tunes are fairly stable because the cars are relatively slow and easy to control. And that being said, there is still some difficulty in handling the terrain and the jumps. And good thing is we don't fall too far behind at the start. The bad thing is we also don't catch anyone, so this is all a very even playing field. But we will be able to make up some ground on the corners. Now this guy just drove somewhere else. And on this jump we probably managed. And now in this corner we can position ourselves on the inside here and get a very clean exit. And now our goal is to once again poke our nose into the next corner so that we can gain another position. The AI slows down a lot more because it doesn't like drifting. And we can just drive past this guy. There is a jump. Jumps are obviously always somewhat dangerous. Now we try to drive a tighter line in order to overtake here, which worked very well. And now we go for the last overtake. No, not yet. But into the next corner we will. Actually getting out of a corner because we were taking a bit of a tighter line and braking way too much for that. Yes, we try to control the car on the wet, slippery ground. Now we are going downhill. The water will help us slow down. Although not as much as I was hoping. So that makes the race interesting again. We choose a very tight line in here to negate any possible overtakes. And we actually save it. Now you might want to start braking a little bit before going into the water. I somewhat overestimated the effect due to the effect that it has on some other cars, but since we are driving an off-road tune, it didn't really slow down as I anticipated in the water. So where is that? But we won, and that's another 20 points. Now we are already in a fairly comfortable position. I've actually heard from some people that they only come to these videos and pick up the share code for the tune and when they're driving, or I mean in this case it's obvious which car you pick, but sometimes we're just looking for the car that I used and the share code, and then they just go and drive themselves. Now obviously that makes sense to a certain degree because the driving itself, I mean, you drive a race, it's not rocket science. There are a certain, I guess, tips that you can give related to, for example, the thing I always say, abusing the fast corners because the AI is terrible through them. And just positioning your car in certain ways. But generally speaking, it's driving a race, and really the important information for some of the people that do watch these videos is just getting the tune code and seeing which car I used. So if you are one of those people, you are probably not here anymore because I mean, for one part the car that I used is obvious, there is only that one, and the share code obviously is in the description, so you don't even have to watch technically. And that in the upcoming corner is actually very interesting. Not this one, but the next one. Because I really hope we can close in here. Because I assume they will brake. And as you can see, we are coming out a lot faster and we are closing in. So it worked as intended. Now here is the first overtake. We really have to hurry up a little bit. Now we will position our car on the inside again. And now switch the side to the left because the next corner will be a left. probably have to shoot inside here. We're way too far off. And as you can see, we are braking. We are not. We're going through full throttle, and that gave us 2 positions. And we have another one to get here. Obviously the pushing out of the way is somewhat rude, but especially with these short sprints like this one, you need to make up positions when you can. And we were a little far back here. We probably could have shot him off the road, but I don't want to go that far. We still want to drive somewhat clean here. And that actually slowed him down, letting him go through that rubble, and that allows us to swoop right past. And now in this corner he had to slow down a lot more, because once again the AI braking a lot more than we do. And now we have a jump, but we have a fairly comfortable lead, and all that can happen to us right now is misplacing the jump, landing in a weird spot. All of the cars here are having trouble with that landing, so that's at least somewhat comforting. And that is a 3rd win, and that's 60 points in total. Which was obviously the goal. And we get the Morgan Freewheeler, a car I already have, but maybe you don't, and maybe this actually helps you, and we'll actually end the video on a wheel spin, I guess. Let's see if all of this trouble has been worth it. Not really. Not really. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can do this as well, and thank you for watching. And until next time, farewell.